Well, well, well. It's almost like someone told you guys that Capitano wasn't joking when he said,
"The secret of the ley lines is no secret to me."
Or when he said,
"And now it falls to me to create new rules for Natlan."
that he really meant new rules. But we'll get into that later, because Natlan's 5.1 trailer had a ton of things to unpack and analyze. Natlan is on the verge of collapse. A lot closer than I thought, to be honest, but man, it is not looking good for the Fire Nation. I would love to go straight into Capitano's plan here, but in order to do that, we need to understand Mavuika first, because she's doing a lot here. Her plan is to face off with the Abyss in one climactic battle once more people are acknowledged by their ancient names, just like she did 500 years ago. But here's the problem. When the trailer opens, Citlali is speaking and she confirms that Mavuika's plan has some flaws. And as someone who is able to see the future by meditating, we can definitely trust her on this one. Then we hear Xilonen say, from what is probably from a different conversation, that Mavuika wants to use the Gnosis to solve the current crisis. Okay, so this is where things get real spicy. Because we know that the Gnosis is the remains of the third Descender, and it can be used to give a massive power boost to Archons. We have never seen an Archon actually use the Gnosis before. The closest we've seen of this is Scaramouche using it as a power source for his mech suit, and Nahida threatening to destroy the Gnosis, which she says would trigger the Heavenly Principles. She also states that they are symbols of Celestia's control over Teyvat and all of the laws. By the way, that's kind of dark, having the remains of a being be a symbol of your dominance. They essentially gave dismembered body parts of a dead invader to their proxy leaders to remind them of who's in charge. Like, that's like a threat and a flex at the same time. Ugh. Anyway, this is just a possibility, just like how destroying a divine throne had a possibility of awakening Celestia as well. So this could possibly be the huge price Xilonen is referring to here. We also don't know if she's just using the Gnosis or if she's destroying it. Although it does look like she's using all of its power here. I can only imagine that she's using all of this power to fend off the Abyss just to stall for time. But other than that, because this trailer tends to jump forwards and backwards in time all the time, we also know that she's making an ancient name, this being the one that she promised to make us at the end of the story. So that at least checks out. But it's also strange that she's trying to finish it without Xilonen, when Xilonen is the one that does the engravings and everything. So there's a lot of strangeness going on here. But here is where we get to talk about the GOAT himself, Capitano. First off, Hoyoverse really threw us some curveballs here because Citlali is making a huge assumption that Capitano is threatening Ororon.
This is a distress signal for the Masters of the Nightwind, so Ororon was indeed being threatened.
And then, later on, Mavuika says that she's going to stall the captain.
In the event that a confrontation becomes inevitable, I'll stall the captain while you advance.
The captain doesn't want to fight her. She's not at full power. He's already said that. But I guess she wasn't there to know that, so it's whatever. But back to the Citlali Ororon situation. Saying that Capitano threatened Ororon is a total 180 for Capitano's character. That's why I'm saying that he didn't do that. Remember, this is the guy that walked in to challenge the Pyro Archon after everyone left the stadium to avoid casualties, and also allowed her to draw her sword first and also attack first. This is also the guy that none of his subordinates or fellow Harbingers have anything negative to say about him. Heck, even Varka sung his praises. So no, I don't think that he threatened Ororon at all. Further proof is when he says,
"And once you've learned the truth that the Pyro Archon Mavuika would never willingly share with you, you may just find it in your heart to consider my proposal."
Yeah, that doesn't sound like he's threatening anyone to me. But what is this proposal? Well, allow me to give my theory on this. I've already predicted that Capitano is the Bloodstained Knight, a 500-year-old human masked warrior from Mondstadt who is obsessed with justice and honor and wears all black. He also joined the Abyss after finding out what happened to the Conrians, since he saw their curse as unjust, which would make Celestia his enemy. Okay, despite all of what we know about Capitano already, fitting this description to a T, I got these two major criticisms that I need to address now. No, Capitano is not from Natlan, and he does not have a Night Soul. Night Souls look like this, with multiple colors and body markings. Capitano has one color, and no part of his body is glowing at all. And yes, if he had a Night Soul, it would be showing on his outfit as well, not just his skin. Same with Mavuika, in fact. She's not using a Night Soul here either. The second counterpoint is, why would the Bloodstained Knight fight under the Tsaritsa if he hates Celestia? Well, that's because the Tsaritsa also wants to fight Celestia, which is the same goal the Abyss has. So he has no reason to see her as an enemy. That out of the way, the Bloodstained Knight Capitano has ties with the Abyss, which is all but confirmed now. Just like I said, I was right. No, this is not just because he has the same claw gauntlets as Child when he transforms into Foul Legacy, the form that he learned from the Abyss. How do I know? Because this dude is chillin' in the Night Kingdom. You know that place that was so notoriously overrun by the Abyss that Kachina had to run for her life in constantly? The same place that we almost died in if Mavuika didn't save us? Yeah, bro is just standing there like nothing's wrong. Oh, and he brought Ororon with him too. Why? Because Capitano has to show him something that Mavuika doesn't want anyone to know. And I know exactly what that is. Dainsleif teased this long ago.
When the god of war shares this secret with the traveler, it is because she has her reasons.
But the truth is just out of frame. The funny thing is, we can already go where Capitano is standing. We can simply go to the Night Kingdom and witness the Pyro Archon secret. Wanna know? Look up. Yes, that is one of Celestia's sky nails, meant for the specific purpose of sealing the Abyss. We've seen it in Dragonspine, and we've seen it in the Chasm. Celestia failed Natlan. The rules failed Natlan. And if the people of Natlan knew that the source of their Archon's power failed to save them, there would be utter chaos and despair. The morale of the nation would be shattered and all hope would be lost. But Capitano has a plan. His plan is to have Natlan join the Abyss. These are the new rules he plans to establish for Natlan. Because notice, he uses the word rules, the same rules that our sibling uses to refer to the heavenly principles. And this would make perfect sense, because he's already part of the Abyss. This is why when Mavuika says,
A land without the Lord of the Night, without the protection of the rules, is doomed from the start.
Because she's still holding out hope for Celestia to help her. But Capitano replies,
You presume too much. Humanity's survival is worth any price.
Because, you see, Mavuika's plan involves an incredible amount of bloodshed. Natlan barely survived the last time, and Capitano, as a man obsessed with justice and honor, doesn't want to see this bloodshed occur. Then he drops this line.
If I could go back, I would do whatever it took to ensure their survival. You've experienced something similar, Mavuika. You should know exactly what I mean.
This dude is talking about Khaenri'ah. If he could go back in time, he would do everything in his power to ensure the people of Khaenri'ah survived. But they didn't. And he doesn't want to see it happen again in Natlan. Mavuika already almost witnessed the extermination of her people 500 years ago. And that's why he says, you've experienced something similar. But joining the Abyss means walking the tightrope of abyssal energy and not falling into forbidden knowledge. However, we know that this can be taught. And that is why we see the Fatui defending Natlan from the Abyss, because Capitano doesn't want the people to die before they can be saved. Notice, this battle happens twice. Once with Shilonen and once with the Fatui. This is the exact same place with the same hilichurl, which is bizarre. But you can tell the Fatui and Ororon show up afterwards because there are already dead hilichurls on the ground. Okay, So let's recap, because that was a lot. Mavuika is planning to use every ounce of power at her disposal, including the symbol of the rules themselves, to stall for the heroes to be acknowledged by their ancient names. And Capitano realized that this would result in the loss of countless lives. So he shows Ororon that said rules have already failed Natlan, but allying with the Abyss can save them. Capitano himself being the living proof that humans can join the Abyss and live. This is all pretty much Capitano's own side quest, by the way, because he could have taken the Gnosis from Mavuika by force long ago, but he chose not to because honor. And that is Capitano's plan explained. There is a lot of other things in this trailer that I just don't really know about, including a potential mention of the Pyro Sovereign, but to be honest with you guys, I have no clue in regards to that. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.